Hello and welcome everybody to the first WoWphiles podcast healing guide for Cataclysm. I am your healing teacher Modem, and today we're going to be going over Holy Priests. Jason's really been getting on my case about making these videos, so I want to start cranking on them and kind of give you all a beginner's guide look at Holy Priests. The way that we're going to do this is look at chakra states first, which is a pretty important thing to understand. Go through each of those states, and then also I've got at the end of this video some fights attached so we can see it in motion. So here is your chakra tooltip. It's what it looks like. It's an instant cast spell, and it only activates when you actually cast another healing spell, which then puts you into a certain chakra state. A lot of healers kind of don't have this mechanic, or if you've been healing for a really long time, you may not have heard about it, or may not have really read the tooltip, but it's incredibly important to understand, and it's your basic, most important heal mechanic for Holy Priest. So, there's three chakra states. There's a single target focused healing chakra state, which is Serenity. There is a multi-target healing state, which is Sanctuary, and then there is a DPS if you're running around in the world and needing to do DPS chakra state, but we won't talk about that since it's a healing specific video. So this is Serenity. This is your basic single target healing chakra state. The two things that it does is it increases critical strike chance of your direct healing spells by 10%, which is pretty big for a Holy Priest, especially given the inspiration talent, which causes you to proc a damage reduction of physical damage on healing criticals. So it's very, very nice to have. It also causes your direct heals to refresh the duration of renew on the target that you have renew on. So if you cast heal or flash heal or whatever that's a single target healing spell on a target with renew, it actually refreshes the duration of renew. Now what it doesn't tell you is that the base duration of renew is roughly I believe it's 10 seconds. But when you refresh it while you're in your Chakra Serenity state, it actually extends that duration to 16 seconds. So it's very, very nice. It can enable you to keep renew up on 3-4 targets at the same time, just rotating who you're healing and refreshing that renew with an extended 16-second duration, which is incredibly nice. The thing that it doesn't say here is it actually transforms your Holy Word Chastise spell into an instant cast healing spell called Holy Word Serenity. And what that does is it actually is a large or mid-sized direct heal instant cast with a very low mana cost that you can apply once every, I believe it's 12 to 15 seconds, whatever the cooldown is on your Holy Word spells. And that's really huge too, because it also increases the crit chance on the target that you hit it with by 25% for 6 seconds. So you're going to be critting a lot more with your healing spells. It's an excellent tank healing tool, and it's an excellent spot healing tool if you need to use it. So Serenity is going to be the base state that you stay in most of the time, except for when, as we'll see, there's a large amount of group damage going on. So here's Serenity state Sanctuary, and it's your base AoE healing chakra state. So, if there's a large amount of group damage, you want to hit your chakra button, cast a Prayer of Mending usually is the fastest way to get into Sanctuary, and then you can start healing your butt off AoE style. It increases the healing done by your area of effect spells, your Prayer of Healing, your Circle of Healing, I believe your Prayer of Mending as well, since it procs from that state, but I'm not quite sure. But it's a very, very nice healthy boost to your AoE healing, and it also increases the healing done of renew. So you can, if you've got like 3 or 4 people taking damage a little bit more than the rest, that renew is going to be ticking harder, and it also helps stabilize tank healing when you're in this state. Also reduces the cooldown of Circle of Healing, which with the latest patch has buffed the amount of healing done with Circle of Healing. So it's really a quite nice state to be in for AoE healing. The last thing it does too is it also transforms your Holy Word spell into a Holy Word Sanctuary spell, which puts a nice yellowy healing circle on the ground so that you can heal a lot of people for an extended amount of time. The one thing I will say about that spell is it is incredibly expensive, and I rarely use it except in circumstances of incredibly high damage where you know that people are going to be able to stay in it. But that's neither here nor there. It just gives you another AoE healing tool as well. So now let's get into the stuff that you probably really want to see, the fights, how to think during a fight, and that's really what I want you to focus on during this phase, is how to think about a fight scenario and how to use your spells to the best of your ability. So this is High Prophet Barum in Lost City of Tolvir. It's a fight that alternates very nicely from single target damage in this first phase, as you see, to multi-target damage. So at the beginning of this fight, I started by proccing myself into the Chakra state Serenity, which was my single target healing state. And see, as you can tell, the tank's taking basically the brunt of all the damage during this phase, and I'm just kind of casting heal to refresh, renew on him, and just doing, what little bit of AoE healing that I can to keep the rest of the people kind of topped off. Again, I mean, as you notice, that Death Knight tank is going down a good bit, so I'm just trying to stay in that Chakra state Serenity and keep healing on him. Obviously, Beeble, that mage there, did a good job moving out of that fire. Cataclysm's an expansion where people really got to help you out with the amount of damage, even though this fight isn't too hard. Alright, so now we're shifting into phase 2, and you'll notice what I've done is I've hit my Chakra state actually right before he got that pull off, and then as soon as he knocked us back, I hit Prayer of Mending to proc myself into that Shadow state, or that Chakra state Sanctuary, the AoE healing state. And as you can tell in this phase, everyone takes a good brunt of shadow damage. They've nerfed it recently, but everyone's taking shadow damage. But what I've done is I've switched my mindset from going from single target to multi-target, because the tank's really not taking that much damage anymore. And it's nice because I'm just hitting Prayer of Healing and healing everyone with both my Mastery Echo of Light and my Glyph of Prayer of Healing and Prayer of Healing as well. And it's pretty nice. And right here, we've gone back into this phase, so as you notice, I just hit Chakra state, and now I've shifted myself back into a single target mind frame. Still had to cast Prayer of Healing once there, but I've gone back to using my heal spell, just kind of focusing on topping everyone off, and really just finishing off the fight strong. You can still mix in Prayer of Healings like I did right there. I was really kind of just goofing off here at the end because it was pretty easy. But that's what you want to do. You want to focus on using that heal spell. Don't use your flash heal or greater heal unless you really need it. So here's another fight. It's the CMF fight, the last boss of Lost City of Tolvir, with that same group that I was in before. Again, you can notice I started off in Chakra state Serenity because CMAT's basically only going to be hitting one person at a time, and the AoE damage in this first phase is going to be very minimal. One thing that I didn't mention in the last fight is you really want to just focus on that heal spell. I mean, that's incredibly important. It's your most mana efficient spell, and it actually, for the quote-unquote spam efficiency spell for all the healers, it hits, I think, the hardest out of all the healing classes, which is pretty nice. And it applies that Echo of Light Mastery healing hot every time you single target heal, which is incredibly nice. You can tell that I've got Renew up on 2 people currently, and I'm kind of just bouncing back and forth and refreshing that on them. It really helps. Right there, that light phase is actually the Surge of Light proc, which makes you cast an instant cast Flash of Light, and it's free as well, which is very nice. You should always use that because it saves you mana and it's a great healing burst. So never waste those procs. That debuff that you see, or that power aura thing that you see above my screen, it just disappeared, was actually a state that procs when you cast Flash of Light, and it stacks up to 2 times, and it reduces the casting time and mana cost of Prayer of Healing and Greater Heal. So if you want to do like combo healing, if your tank's taking a lot of damage, you can go 2 Flash of Light to a Greater Heal, and it kind of gives you a nice little combo burst. As you can tell here, after he switched into that phase where he started attacking the CMAT, I switched into a Chakra state Sanctuary so that we could actually AoE heal a lot better, and I'm just focusing on Prayer of Healing everyone, kind of circle healing, keeping my Prayer of Mending up so that it bounces and heals everyone. Damage is pretty manageable. So lastly, we're kind of just going to look at my recount for healing done. As you can tell, for the overall in that dungeon, Renew, because I was refreshing it through my Chakra state, was actually my tops heal. Heal was second, and that's very important to make sure that, you know, if you're looking at your overall healing done, that heal is second or first, because it is your most efficient and it's going to reduce your mana issues a lot. Prayer of Healing was third because I used it a lot during boss fights. And you know, the rest on there, Echo of Light, as you can see, 8% of my total healing from the Healing Mastery, which is really, really nice. I think it's one of the best masteries for all the classes. And yeah, that's the healing breakdown. Hopefully this video helped, and I'll see you next time.